Breaking news tonight, and this story is sending shockwaves across Washington, Ottawa, and every NATO capital in Europe. What you are about to hear has triggered outrage, disbelief, and fierce political backlash. A dramatic claim is circulating that Donald Trump has threatened to push Canada out of NATO, and even more explosively, that he mocked the sacrifice of 457 fallen Allied troops. If true, this would mark one of the most controversial moments in modern alliance politics. So what's really going on? And why is the reaction so intense? Let's break it down carefully. NATO, officially known as the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is not just another diplomatic club. It is a military alliance built on one powerful principle, Article 5, which says an attack on one member is an attack on all. Canada has been a founding member since 1949, fighting alongside the United States in Afghanistan, Iraq, and numerous peacekeeping missions. The bond between Washington and Ottawa has historically been described as unbreakable. So when talk of expelling Canada from NATO enters the political conversation, it immediately raises legal, constitutional, and strategic questions. First, can a U.S. president even kick another country out of NATO? The short answer is no, at least not unilaterally. NATO membership is governed by treaty, and removal of a member state would require complex multilateral agreement among all allies. It's not something one leader can simply declare at a rally or on social media. However, rhetoric matters in global politics. Even suggesting that a longtime ally could be cast aside sends a signal to adversaries like Russia and China that Western unity may be fragile, and that perception alone can shift global power calculations. The second part of this controversy is even more emotionally charged. Reports claiming that Allied casualties were mocked have sparked fury among veterans groups and families of the fallen. Canada lost 158 soldiers in Afghanistan alone, and Allied nations collectively lost hundreds more in joint operations. Across NATO countries, military service is deeply respected, and any perceived insult toward fallen troops becomes politically explosive. Critics argue that rhetoric diminishing sacrifice undermines morale and damages trust between allied forces that train and deploy together. Supporters, however, often counter that remarks are taken out of context or exaggerated by political opponents, and that's where this story becomes highly polarized. In today's political climate, especially with a figure as controversial as Donald Trump, every word can ignite a firestorm. Supporters view tough language toward allies as leverage, a negotiating tactic to demand higher defense spending. Critics see it as reckless and destabilizing. Remember, Trump has long argued that NATO members should contribute more to collective defense budgets, frequently pressuring allies to meet the 2% GDP spending target. That pressure did lead to increased defense commitments from several member states during his presidency, but pushing for more spending is very different from publicly questioning alliance membership. The geopolitical stakes are enormous. Canada shares the world's longest undefended border with the United States. NORAD cooperation, intelligence sharing, Arctic defense strategy, these are deeply integrated systems. Any fracture would not just be symbolic, it would reshape North American security architecture. Markets also react to instability. Defense stocks, energy corridors, and cross-border trade, all sensitive to diplomatic tensions. In moments like this, perception can move faster than policy. So where does this leave us? As of now, NATO remains intact and Canada remains a full member in good standing. But the outrage shows how sensitive alliance politics have become. Words carry strategic weight. Leaders' statements are analyzed not only by voters, but by foreign governments, military planners, and financial markets. Whether this controversy fades as campaign rhetoric or escalates into a deeper diplomatic dispute will depend on clarifications, official statements, and political calculations in the days ahead. Size. One thing is certain, NATO unity has long been considered a cornerstone of Western security. Any suggestion of cracks, especially involving two of its founding partners, instantly becomes global headline news. Stay with us for further updates as reactions continue to pour in from Washington, Ottawa, Brussels, and beyond.